Welcome back to France, and of course we are continuing our push, guys, into Wurttemberg. At least that is hopefully going to be the next target that we take here. Now I'm going to be ending the turn, and one thing that I'm somewhat concerned about is not having men near the city of Paris. However, we do have Charles Dumouriez with a few actual demi-brigades that we've built up. The problem is that keeping these demi-brigades built up with no enemies really except for Wurttemberg can be a bit expensive, of course, you know, since we're not using them, etc. But I think it's extremely important that we get multiple armies out here and really just make sure that we have two armies at all times ready to move. So you can understand why I'm spending a little bit more there on the military. Now let's continue forward. We are, I think, just a turn away from getting to the city of Strasbourg, and this would be the Republic's first chance at really showing the Royalists we mean business. Of course, the Strasbourgians, the Hanoverians, the Wurttembergians, they've all funded our previous king, and we definitely want to get some vengeance. Now, it looks like, for whatever reason, well, the Iroquois have declared war on us. I can understand why, because we're in Louisiana, as a matter of fact. And I wonder if they're going to be joined by the English, because this would change everything, guys. Thankfully, we are joined by just about everyone, but the English are not going to honor the Cherokee Alliance there, and thank goodness. However, this means we have to certainly put some focus there on those colonies to make sure they're not taken from under us. That's going to be extremely important here. For those of you that enjoy this series, I'd ask that you please like and comment. I know it's annoying to ask during a video, but this is just the honest reality of YouTube today. And it also allows us to get those next episodes out quickly. Well, what do you know? Ralph Hamel is going to be attacking us right here outside of Strasbourg. Let's see how we deal with them, my friends, and hopefully Niel Fossé can add a victory to his record. Alright guys, we are in the defensive here. So first things first, I want to go ahead and deploy these cannons. Now as you can see, I added the flags again. I think it was just getting very confusing not actually seeing where our guys were attacking, but if you think this was a mistake, then do let me know. That being said, for now, the flags remain, and to be honest, they look pretty damn nice. As you can see, we have a hell of a battle ahead of us. What I'm hoping to do is hopefully to get to this tree line as quickly as possible. That's assuming the enemy doesn't take positions up here on the hill. Nonetheless, we might as well see how things are going to look here and then decide what we're going to do. And nope, we have no room to really set up. We just want to begin firing as soon as possible. Well, here we go, my friends. Vive la France, vive le pays, and just prepare to fight, I suppose. In fact, even if it comes down to canister shot, I guess we'll just have to do it. Let me just toggle guard mode right here. You can do it, boys. Now, as for our cavalry, I'm gonna actually get all the way over here, guys, and we'll come in with the cavalry a little bit later. I don't like that the enemy has an uphill advantage, but I'm hoping that we can get over it. Très bien, très bien. Here we go. It really is brigade to brigade at this point. I've been tempted to bring out the canister shot. I mean, they're just so close. Oh, this is carcass shot. We don't want that. We want the explosive shell. And I'm going to push up with these men and immediately start engaging these, I almost called them Austrians, these Wurttembergians. Here we go, friends. I don't like that they're actually getting in the woods here. Certainly not comforting to me. Let's grab some cavalry and try shutting them down immediately right here. I'm also going to take some of these cavalry units and actually hit the enemy's artillery over here. I like to see that our exploding shells are certainly getting the job done. For how much longer, I'm not sure. Très bien, très bien. Alright, boys. Again, trying to just destroy some of these enemy lines. Because, of course, that's going to simplify things for the rest of our army. And since they've already taken that central area, I definitely don't need the enemy over here also dealing damage to us. In fact, we're going to begin firing on that unit with both of these groups here. The battle continues in earnest. Look at this, man. They're in the woods, exactly where we wanted to be. But as long as we can keep this up and just keep knocking them down, then we're going to come out on top here for this battle. In fact, I'm going to redraw the line here for this unit. We'll make sure that they're on the double quick march. but just look at the shots that our men are getting here at their flank. I love the way that our demi-brigades are operating. These, of course, are grenadiers, so if we wanted to really go in for a charge, we certainly could. Trying to keep them back for the time being. Let's see where that cavalry is. And again, I'm going to, in this case, hit the actual enemy infantry in the woods. I don't like that we are going in this general direction, because they've got quite a few units, but hopefully we can make the most of it. Yeah, baby. Très bien. Enemy general killed. That's Ralph Hamel. They're going to have to lick their wounds after that one, but I don't want to lose our entire cavalry force in a single battle. So let's pull back with the cavalry here. They've done quite enough. We've still got additional cavalry units up here that can also come in for an attack. In fact, I'm going to order them just to go ahead and charge the Wurttemberg cannons. Let's bring the general over here. Alright, well, the boys are keeping up the fight, and look at that. These guys have already deployed. Absolutely wonderful. I can't wait until we actually start unlocking, though, the different tactics in line battle. So, for instance, the actual I think it's kneeling fire, and the, I'm just calling it rotary fire, since I really honestly don't know the name. But it's when you fire and then go to the back of the line and the next guy comes forward. These are all tactics we can unlock in Imperial Splendor. But it's going to take some time. Of course, some research in the military academy, or in our case, the university. Something to look forward to, and so far, guys, I think we are doing just tremendously well. We're out-shooting them in every sense of the word. I think they slightly outnumber us, but it makes no difference. We've outshot them. Our cavalry has helped tremendously in just kind of ruining their day a bit. It looks like our cavalry got into a very strange formation here. But nonetheless, I like what's going on here. Let's go ahead and try to finish off the grenadiers. Pour la nation et le pays. It's only a matter of time. First Grenadier Regiment here for Wurttemberg is looking pretty worse for wear, that's for sure. Now they are hitting us in the flank, which I don't like. So you know what? Let's take our cavalry units over here and let's charge. I think it's certainly time to consolidate this victory. We gotta get these guys a little bit closer to the front. They are not able to even see the enemy due to the terrain here. Now, this is one of the other benefits of building that second army. We might need to go back home, back to Paris, and actually rebuild these guys, recruit more men, and get them back to their full strength. In the meantime, we could take that first army, come back out here, and continue the attack. No, I don't know if we even have that opportunity this time, because frankly, it takes 3 days to get out here to Strasbourg. So I might just go ahead and push forward and take it. But at least for future fights, it's something we absolutely want to consider. We are showing some mercy here against the Strasburgians. I mean, we're a new nation, a new republic, I should say. And so because of that, I really don't want to chase them down and murder them if I can help it. Although, old habits die hard. Alright, there we go, guys. It is going to be an end to the battle, a heroic victory. Well, thank you, game. I appreciate that. Here we go. So, 256 killed on our side. They lost 1,188. Just a tremendous victory outside of Strasbourg in pretty chilly weather. So, a nice little fight there for the Gunpowder Age. Let's proceed forth. And it looks like we might have additional enemies attacking, if I'm not mistaken. Or are they just taking a look here?
There is unused land suitable for farming in this.
Okay, We're actually allied with the Austrians right now, which is weird. Now, Hessen-Kassel is just kind of hanging out outside in, very suspicious way, almost as if they intended to join the enemy during that battle, but you guys tell me what you think that's all about. In any case, I am going to move in, and I am going to take Strasbourg. So there we go, my friends. One of our lines of progress complete in our entire story, because of course we were trying to get to the Rhine, but we still have quite a bit to take, including Cologne, Stuttgart, Turin, I believe. And of course, a lot of people suggesting we attack Amsterdam. Even more people in the committee suggesting we go for the UK. And what I really want to make sure of is that our Louisiana territories are safe. Yeah, I know that France sold Louisiana for pennies on the dollar, but the fact is that maybe this time we can actually make a bit of a difference and sort of change history. So the Cherokee, I thought they were at war with us. I guess not. All right. Well, in that case, that sort of changes things. Let me see. No, I could have sworn the Cherokee were at war with us. Well, I guess not. All right, in that case, guys, we're just going to look around different places to improve. So, for instance, some corn grate estates would be wonderful. It's not only going to provide some much-needed income, but it's also going to feed this area as well as our people back home in France. Now, different threats could arise from all over the place, and actually the ones that I'm most worried about are the Dutch. The Austrians, of course, too. They could declare war on us at any moment. So, in the meantime, I really just want to focus entirely on rebuilding, getting stronger. Pretty much that's it. In fact, let's jump over here to our army. Something I already should have started doing look at that, is recruiting additional units. And just to recruit additional units for this cavalry unit, it's going to be prohibitively expensive. It really is. So wherever we can, we're going to try to save funds. And in other areas, we're just going to try to recruit additional manpower and fill in the gaps. I think we've removed one threat, so let's hope that it remains that way. And it's a shame that Hessen-Kassel doesn't have any sea routes, because then we could actually raid them and actually get a little bit of an income out of piracy. That's not going to be the case here, although I am definitely considering, guys, instead of using this army to support our men here, I'm considering taking that army and actually heading to the Americas, or even to Asia, to take colonies away from either the British or the Dutch. That's a possibility. But for now, I'm going to keep what the committee says, and we are going to keep on pushing to the Rhine. In this case, let's end the turn, see if any other enemy power wants to declare war on us, or if we've at least met our match so far, and now we can really choose our enemies, essentially, decide who we want to attack first. And I have to say, the Netherlands is looking like a riper target every time. Yeah, Wurttemberg is finished, I believe. Nope, that's right. They still have a single city, guys.
Select the type of port to construct here.
We also will develop the port of Calais. That's going to bring in quite a lot. And we just created, I believe it was a trade port. Naval shore. So actually, no, we didn't create, we created a shipyard. We could create a trade port over here, but I think we already have a commercial trade port right here in Le Havre. Nonetheless, we have one more location to take here from the enemy to completely finish Wurttemberg off in this war. But it looks like this is actually going to be a battle we want to sit down and fight. Despite the fact that the enemy has firelock armed citizenry, that could still be a bit of a challenge here. So, we have somewhat better troops, but not nearly as many troops. But finishing the enemy off right now, I think, would be in our best interest. Let's end the turn. And that's right, I'm prepared to face them on the battlefield, finish them off here, and then head back as quickly as possible. Now, the Dutch are asking for military access. There is no way I'm offering that to them, especially for such a pittance, such a small amount of money. It's just not going to satiate me. Come on, do something, Wurttemberg. This is your last chance. I think they're going to call our bluff, or maybe not. Yeah, they are. So here we go, folks. Let's get ready on the battlefield. 2 battles for 1. Let's crush these scoundrels. Well, numbers or not, I can tell you one thing. Our men are going to give it their all. But I am a little concerned because, let's face it, we don't have nearly as many cavalry as we had before. We also don't have that uphill advantage. We didn't have it before either, and we still managed to get a victory. But I think even the more concerning thing is just the fact that we don't have a lot of men here. So let's see what happens. The enemy's actually going to be advancing some from over here, but some from back here. That might give us a chance to use the woods here. But for now, I'm just going to use this wonderful stone wall. Let's see if it works the way I hope it. I'm hoping it does. The way it was intended, anyway. They might just barely be out of range. Just barely out of range, folks. Evidently, we are not out of range to them, but I'm going to start advancing with these 2 patrol units, these demi-brigades. Fire! We do have square formation if we need it. I'm hoping we don't, though. I'm hoping we just knock them down right now. No time for cavalry here. Oh, that was wonderful, guys. That was wonderful. Every single one of the enemy cavalry essentially evaporating there. And let's continue the shooting. Hopefully they'll advance to try and engage our men over here, and that'll give us an opportunity to hit them with our men behind the wall. In fact, I think we can fire now. Let's do it. And if we could try to corner these Wurttemberg forces all here at the wall, well, then we stand a very real chance of winning. Against firelock armed citizenry, we'll win every time. Especially when we have cover like this. They might as well be throwing stones at us. Look at that artillery support. Thank you, boys. And I'm going to start sending some of these infantry units into the woods here. Because, again, we want to try and cause some significant damage before they even make it to the front lines. And for all intents and purposes, for this battle, the front lines are here on the right side. Of enemy forces moving over there on the right side, but again, it's firelock armed citizenry. We have to keep that into perspective. If it was regular line infantry, I would approach this a lot differently, but we can't be too cautious here. That's where that cavalry is. Alright, let's go. All enemies of the Republic must die, friends. Especially the ones that are moving to the top of this hill here and trying to take that wonderful, wonderful position. Here we go. Oh, we've got cavalry. Get into square formation. And hopefully we can make short work of this Wurtembergian cavalry here. Alright, boys. It's now or never. We can barely see ahead of us, but what we know is anything ahead of us at the moment is a threat. In fact, I'm going to get this unit into square formation as well. Oh no, they got off their horses. Sneaky little scoundrels. Fire, boys. Dude, they just shot that guy through the throat and it hit the other guy in the face. That was intense. Run him down. Take a look over here. A lot of enemy movement over here. At this point, we might as well all get behind the wall. Come on, boys. Fire. Put down your weapons and go back to your homes immediately. These peasants are coming out here. I mean, we're fighting for them. Shoot them down. Alright, looks like we've got that one Wurtembergian unit running, but our cavalry are having a little bit of trouble up here. I take that back. Always doing a great job, that cavalry. Unfortunately, one of them did retreat. We desperately need to get some reinforcements for them there. In fact, I am going to get my bayonets and just charge into this firelock armed citizenry, try to bring some relief to our men. Not going to happen, bastards. luck, then. Alright, let's take a look over here. Man, they have gotten to the line. They have gotten to the line. This is intense, friends. We are up against the hammer and anvil at this point. We got to bring all the men back we can. You know what? We might as well charge with the cabs here. Try to hit that firelock armed citizenry. Alternatively, we could just bring them into this huge scrum going on. Here we go, boys. Okay, we've got some citizens on the run. Fire. We can't really worry about friendly fire right now. That's what I like to see, boys. That is what I like to see. Look at that all along the front lines, guys. Just devastating damage. Yep, looks like their general is still alive. Let's shut him down. We've got to shut down these royalist puppets once and for all. Oh, wow. He might actually run for once. Bayonets. We're not playing with them anymore. Go, boys. Charge! I mean, one day these Wurttembergians are going to be our subjects, so we don't want to be too brutal, but it's always good to set an example. It actually looked like they intentionally fired over. I'm not sure if they did, but that would be a really nice touch. Alright, let's just have them charge there. These positions should be fairly easy to take. We just want to charge the artillery positions and shut them down for good. Unbelievably, that general is still holding the line, guys. Our general, where is he? Ah, yes, having a cup of tea over here. No, he's French. He's having a glass of wine safely behind the lines. And as you can see, I think we're probably going to get a killing blow here. Unless he chooses to run. It would be ideal to kill him, though. Not have to worry about him during the siege. Looks like one more group of firelock armed citizenry. And I think it's time to rout them from the field with force here, friends. We're going to attack them from two different locations. As you can see, we have liberated the enemy artillery for revolutionary purposes. And at this point, we're going to try and push the men off the field. I think that's about it. We've been fairly humane in terms of our prisoner treatment here, but I might need to break my rules just this once and run down some of the enemy here. The thing is, we are currently in a siege, and the last thing I want is to have a bunch of enemy defenders trying to put a stop to us. So at the very least, these armed citizens have to pay the ultimate price. I mean, they are armed after all. Let's keep that in mind. Attack, boys! There we go. So just getting a few of them. We could whittle down this entire force. In fact, let's just do one of these. Just have them kind of fire and move as they go. Just look at that. Like, one volley drops a bunch of them. And I hope that will show the Wurttembergians that we are no longer here for discussions. And let's put it plainly that we own Wurttemberg entirely now. This is our country. However, they're still looking quite strong. Now, something interesting has happened, guys. There has been an election, but the current cabinet has regained and retained control, so I'm quite happy with that. Let's take a look here. That's going to be an easy victory, and the country is liberated, my friends. Wurttemberg. This is what you get for standing up to the glorious revolution, and while saying that, I'm going to rebuild a royal palace. For revolutionary purposes. Relax, folks, relax. We're not about to turn into kings ourselves. Well, it depending on how much it pays. Anyway, guys, I hope you're enjoying the series so far, and if you are, you know what you got to do. Really does help. In the meantime, I am going to repair the existing damage that was done during this war. We need to also look over to this army and begin building it, but one thing that's very important that we can't forget with all of these veterans of multiple wars is immediately start replenishing this army right here. And I know it's going to be extremely expensive. In fact, that 5,000 is probably going to disappear as if it was never there in the first place. But the fact is, these are veterans, and if we recruit additional units, they're only going to continue to learn from the men already staffed in the units. So I am going to go ahead, just, there we go, replenish all those, and that's over 1 or 2 turns is going to look wonderful. But guys, there is so much ahead of us, and I need you, the popular committee, to tell me where to go next. Glory to the revolution!